Hey, what's up you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? Now today we're going to take a wee look at the latest info that we have about Dauntless with regards looting the behemoths and crafting once the game finally goes live. Of course the alpha test hasn't hit yet, so a lot of this info could change over time, but I want to keep you guys up to date with as much Dauntless info as possible in case you don't check with the Dauntless website discussions very often, just so as you know what to expect when the game goes live or to decide whether or not the game will be for you. So like I said, all of this info can be found on the discussion page of the Dauntless forums if you want to read up on it. There's also bits about lore in there as well, so the link is in the description of this video. Now, as slayers or hunters in Dauntless, you and your friends or your squad are charged with harnessing aether to become more powerful in your attempts to slay the behemoths threatening the Shattered Isles. Collect aspect arcanite, behemoth trophies and other materials in order to increase your arsenal. Certain materials are going to be needed in order to craft specific weapons and armour for your slayer. Materials like a behemoth's fang or a chipped plate armour or behemoth's tail, which means that when battling one of these behemoths, you can target these specific areas in order to try and get the part that you so desperately need. Now there will also be other crafting materials that you're going to need to gather while you're out on this hunt. Materials like the critter bits, minerals and of course flora. But along with these materials, you're also going to need the raw aether core that a behemoth is reduced to once it's dead. This core can then be brought back to Arcandrew, who is the Ramsgate smithy, and Ramsgate is of course the town hub that you and your friends are going to be jumping in and out of. He's the guy who will be able to turn your aether core into raw arcanite and hopefully harness the power of the behemoths, the raw power, into your armour and weapons. Things like rage, cunning or ice damage, fire damage and so on. So there might be certain stat additions from this raw arcanite. Now there will also be elemental properties added. If you kill Pangar, who is the ice elemental damage, and are lucky enough to collect his aether, then you're going to be able to turn it into arcanite and add it to a weapon that will then deal ice damage, or if you get Embermane's harnessed power, you will hopefully be able to deal fire damage. Then you're going to get the option to upgrade these weapons further, and you might need to gather aether from other behemoths as well. So a sword already imbued with Pangar's ice might need cunning distilled from Shrike or brutality from Drask in order to take that weapon to the next level. So plenty of hunting involved. Now with regards what drops from the actual behemoth that you hunt, the discussion is saying that RNG will play a part in what each aether core will contain, so you may not be lucky enough to get the element that you wanted first time around, and more than one hunt might be required in order to get all of the parts that you need, which I kind of expected anyway, as the game is going to be a resource heavy game in order to get all of the weapons and armour that you want. So in short, you're going to be able to gather materials while out on your hunt. You're also going to be able to kill behemoths, hopefully, if you're good enough, and they will give you an aether core as well as other materials depending on what body parts you target or are lucky enough to break off. You can then bring this aether core back to Arcandrew in Ramsgate, who, if you're lucky enough, will be able to distill certain properties out of it and imbue them into your weapons and armour. Now, a bit of a touchy subject when it comes to free-to-play games is microtransactions, and as far as the microtransactions go with regards to Dauntless, so far we know that you will be able to buy boosters that will increase your chances of getting items, and currently there are two different boosters that they are talking about. There is the Champion booster and there is the Patron booster. Now the Champion booster will increase the amount of resources that drop from a behemoth just for you, no one else. And the Patron booster will increase the drops from behemoths for you and everyone in your group or in your squad. It also stacks, so more than one person running with a Patron booster equipped, then your drops will be greatly increased. There is also a small chance that cosmetic items can drop from behemoths once you have the Patron booster equipped, so it's a good incentive to get one, but of course these boosters are microtransactions, so they're not exactly a requirement. You don't have to get one, feel free to run without one and never use one while playing the game. You would only buy one of these if you had the actual money to do so, and maybe if you and your squad of friends were grinding out a lot of hunts in order to upgrade or build weapons and armour as fast as possible. Now in Warframe, which is the main game that my channel is focused on at the minute, we have boosters in the game, and let's be honest, most free-to-play games have some kind of a booster involved. In fact, lately a lot of AAA titles have boosters added into their store as well, because they give the player base the option to increase their resource gain or level up or whatever. So I don't really see these being added as a microtransaction as being a real problem to the game. Now Dauntless is going to be a resource heavy game, and I think most people interested in Dauntless are already well aware of this. We're going to have to hunt for as many resources as possible in order to upgrade our armor and of course our weapons, kill as many behemoths as we can if we're good enough to, and of course to grow our character's legend. Slayer fashion will probably be a thing. It's going to be important, right? You gotta look your best and as badass as possible, not like your friend Timmy who's got a teapot as a helmet. So right now, for anyone interested, Phoenix Labs have released their founders packs for Dauntless for anyone who wants to support the developers, or for anyone who can actually afford to buy them because they're not cheap. And also you're going to gain a few special founders limited perks. There will also be packs that will allow you into the closed alpha of Dauntless and into the closed beta, but again, buying a founders pack for a free to play game is entirely up to you. If you want to, if you've got that money to spare, then it's your choice. Now let me know what you guys think of the crafting and resource information shared in this Dauntless discussion. Like I've said, the link is in the description of this video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Dauntless, and as always, thanks very much for watching.
I wanna stand up, I wanna let go. You know, no, you don't. I wanna shine on in the hearts of men.